Acclaimed by reviewers and film festivals around the world, it is one of the great documentary films of our time. Now, the 10th anniversary collector's edition of Hitman Hart, Wrestling with Shadows. The story of the epic real-life battle between Bret Hart and Vince McMahon, owner of the World Wrestling Federation. And as a special offer never before released on DVD, the life and death of Owen Hart.
When people say wrestling, they talk about wrestling not being real. It's far more real than people think.
You survive by taking the pain in, getting hit, hitting back, being very physical, letting out all your aggressions. I've been working for Vince McMahon's WWF for the last 14 years. I always figured I'd end my career there. The stage we perform on was created by Vince McMahon. He really turned wrestling upside down and changed it completely. I talked to Vince, and he goes, "You have to lose to Shawn in Montreal."
I can't do that.
Vince McMahon has always had this mentality about treating wrestlers like circus animals. All these wrestlers that have broke their backs making this living for years end up with nothing when it's over. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
I think my relationship with Vince McMahon was always sort of like a father. Loyalty is important.
I'm pacing the cave.
I have no sympathy for someone not doing the right thing for the business that made him. Bret screwed Bret.
Is there a right and is there a wrong?
There's Bret Hart's argument, which may seem a bit naive, but he still has personal integrity. He keeps his word. He does what he promises he will do, and that makes him a good man, even if he's in a bad world.
Hitman Hart, Wrestling with Shadows, called the greatest wrestling film ever made. As a special bonus feature, you will also receive the life and death of Owen Hart, never before released on DVD, exclusively available on this double DVD 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition. The life and death of Owen Hart, the story of a real-life tragedy in a world where making money trumps everything.
In professional wrestling, Owen Hart was a reluctant star. He was a distinctly normal man in a very strange world. Now Owen would pay the ultimate price for a stardom he never really wanted.
This was a tragic, just a horrible accident.
Someone is at fault. Should the business competition be so fierce that the wrestler's life, their future is in jeopardy?
Walk along one day and do nothing wrong, play by the rules, be a good person, do everything right, and doesn't guarantee anything.
It was this doctor from the hospital, and I just felt this doom sweep over me, and he said, "Mrs. Hart, there's been an accident." I said, "What happened?"
How many millions can a company make? How many billions is enough?
And you will also receive 2 added features, a new interview with Bret Hart, looking back 10 years later.
I've had people reason with me over the years that Vince McMahon would never have been the great success that he is today if he hadn't had to be the sort of cutthroat businessman that he was. But I don't think so. I think if Vince had been a better guy and treated his wrestlers with a little more respect, I think a lot of them would be alive today. Plus, I think his business would be better. I don't think you have to be a dirty rat to make it.
And an interview with the film's director, Paul Jay, now the CEO and senior editor of the Real News Network. In this interview, Jay talks about what the film tells us about today's world.
I was intrigued with this issue of good guys versus bad guys.
good versus evil, which is the main construct of wrestling narrative. You use the good and evil argument as a way that anything could be justified once you define that you're good and your opposition is evil. I mean, it's okay in wrestling, but it's not okay in real life.